Having some fabulous espresso at 9:38 on this Monday evening. Good evening. Let's jump right into it. Investing and trading in the financial markets impose substantial risk to it. One can lose all or more than an initial investment. The content provided by myself are for educational purposes only. All ideas and forecasts mentioned within are simply my opinions and not investment or trading advice. Trade at your own risk. Alright, let's get rid of this mumbo jumbos. Let's just remove them. I got them saved. Alright, let's get right into it. I found this, I'm happy I didn't make a video sooner, and it's today. It's somebody has definitely stirred up the pot, and it's I'm not sure what's quite ready to happen, and I don't want to read too much into it. I just want to follow what the charts are telling me until it tells me something otherwise. I'm not gonna guess, but I do have a gut feeling that's telling me to just be cautious. Right? You back up and you look at this chart right now. What I see right now is a big rounding top, almost as if it's a Head and Shoulders. Very steep right shoulder. You can basically look at that as a gunning for stops. Everybody who was late to the party, and pretty much they fueled this. It's a massive squeeze. All right, whether it produces new all-time highs, we don't know until we start seeing the numbers. But since this October double bottom, today was the first day that this extension leg broke. Right, with today's price action. I do want to point something out. A few things. All right, and this you can actually apply this to a lot of the assets that we trade. It's sort of this story is showing in a few charts. All right, but it can. I don't want to read into it, and I would be a fool to trade any kind of thesis without the chart showing me that this is what's going to happen. Alright, let's get into it. This leg up, if you can remember, we was using this October high as the basis for, this October high as the basis for the extension, and you'll see this on a 15-minute chart. I believe, okay, system caught up with me. You'll see this on this 15-minute chart. You have to at least have 20 days of data in it. But we was using these 2134s, this high. I fell on a October 21st. We was using that high-to-high extension to give us our pullbacks because this market has been straight up. So in order to join the party, you had to know what your anchor was, and it was these 2134s. 2134s. These 2034s, excuse me. Alright. From there to that Thursday high. Alright. This gave you your pullback at the 54s and to target 84. Alright. From there, redraw it again. Remember, you have to keep using this anchor. That's why I would really mark it so you at least know where to draw from. Alright, and we're just drawing just about, so if you want exact, do it on your own chart. Alright, from this high again, same anchor. When I say same anchor, you're using the same level, 2034. 2034 to that new high, and gave you your next pullback. Alright, this is why you knew where to book some, wait for the next dip. 2064s was your next spot, and it targeted 2110. If I would have drew it exactly, it would have came out perfectly. But it was 2110 pretty much, and right on the money, to the tick. That's why I tell you, this stuff is very accurate. When it's working, you're just going. Alright, when it's not working, it's fall back and just take the loss and wait for the next setup. If you're trying to, you're jumping in from position to position to position. It's you're just swinging. You're swinging and you're missing every single time. So you take your losses, you eat them, and you just wait for the next setup. That's the hardest part of this business is pretty much waiting for the setup to come to you, and you got to know when to walk away. And there are many things besides the ES markets. There's substantial. You have a lot to trade. And anyways, let's keep going. This extension, remember, we pulled back to the 64s, 2110. I remember I was trying to get cute somewhere in this area. I booked it right into these 90s, and I thought there would have been likely a little bit of a larger pullback. I was hoping, again, hope does not work in this market, all right, that we would get at least somewhere into these 80s. I would have brought it right back. Just so we use the same stop, but it's just trying to get greedy. And when you try to get cute, because I was just trying to get a small little leg down and buy right back in, right to target, to try to maximize all these swings. Because mind you, I was thinking short a few weeks ago, and that short got broken, and you had to just flip. You had to flip. You had to recognize what was in front of you, what the chart was telling you. And so far, longs have been holding. This was the first time since October that pretty much the longs have failed. Where did they fail at? Let's get right into it. All right, same anchor. All right, 2034s, excuse me, to the 2110s. All right, today that broke. All right, this is why 72s was the buy area. It was targeting 28s. All right, roughly. All right, 60 broke on the 63s. I was looking at 67s as, roughly support, only because of this, this little trough low. And once I seen 67s was my out, and lo and behold, it did break. I didn't want to stomach that. I was buying. I front ran it. I started 74 quarters. I brought 73 quarters, 72 quarters, 71 quarters stop. And I got stopped 67s, ate it. All right, but mind you, we had a nice small run up from, I believe I started jumping in around this area. All right, so that's that. This broke, however, I want to show you a few things that I found interesting. All right, this can be seen, let's go to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart will show it. All right, I'm more concerned of now from this extension. There was no pullback. Remember, we ran straight up in extensions. All right, but we started drawing from these 2034s. All right, what I did find interesting today. Now, if you're measuring, because usually when an extension starts to go, there was another high. It's usually like the breakout high. Where do we usually see that at? Let me remind you what this weekly chart looks like when this started going. All right, this was the double top, so we always started drawing. This was our main anchor. These I believe it was in October of this year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was in October. All right, funny. A lot of main anchors I start to notice, and a lot of charts are in either September and October. That main anchors to snap from, like major substantial pivot areas. But anyway, that's another topic. So this is when I see this, I usually know that this was a push through failure, and this was where a lot of stops was at. And once that started going, this was just a straight up rise. So you was using this anchor all the way up. All right, so this was where we had gotten these substantial anchors, these pullbacks that traded to targets. All right, so into this price action as of late, once I had, there was no way to draw from it onto this leg up. But then what I have found today was from that high in September, mid-September, to the 2110s, the last recent high, damn near perfect. All right, but I don't want to read too much into it, only because that leg did break, and right now I'm flat. I have no position in it. I'm just watching. I probably will be babysitting the charts for the remainder of the week. But it's just something to keep an eye on. That may be an area of interest, and that targets pretty much a double top. All right, I'm not sure what's going to happen. What I'm looking at as a potential buy that I would, it'll be my next area of interest will be halfway back. All right, so just be mindful. You have that one that may be participating on. I'm not sure how many buyers are really looking at that level, but again, halfway back, and you have to be patient for it, is from these 1831s to 2110s, right, all the way down to 1970, and that will continue to trip higher. That targets 2176. All right, so below 1937, this picture it looks very, goes back to this, what I was looking at, this rounded top, almost a head and shoulders, M for murder. It's very substantial. All right, and what I found very funny, let me remind you, let's get this out of here. All right, just going back to these old targets, these old pivots. Remember, these are October highs, this double top, the pullback that was brought in October of last year of 14, the pullback into target. So just be mindful, this whole story can be reborn. We're pretty much still straight sideways in a huge range. So don't, this is why I try to say, the chart is always trying to tell you something. You just have to figure out what it is telling you. And now, like I said, as I started this video, somebody is stirring up the pot, because now there's multiple options of what can happen. And I'm just letting you know, I do not know. I have no bias. I'm going to trade with the charts in front of me. For right now, I'm trusting the long. Only because we did not break this level. We traded and bounced off of it, broke a short, and since then it's been a moonshot, fueled by shorts, late to the game. Alright, so remember how much I was called a wacko, getting short in this level, we're going to new highs? Yeah, okay, sounds good. Alright, but then you had a lot of wackos chasing this down here. And mind you, we've been shorting since top tick, or damn near it. Alright, very frustrating, but never fooled. Alright, so just trust the charts. You really have to trust your charts and what they're telling you. The best advice I can give to any new trader is you must be patient. You must. If not, you're gonna blow up. It's a matter of time. It's mathematically calculated. You will blow up. Where do we go from here? It's just, again, measuring commitment. I don't want to read too much into until we get, I guess, resolution. I don't want to read too much into it. I don't want to be scaring nobody. It's a lot of people really are invested in this market, especially to the long side. Let's see what happens. But I just want you to, again, to not be fooled. Don't fall asleep with a lot of money overnight, especially into a weekend, and think this market can gap down 50 and go. Alright, just be mindful of the market. Keep an eye on it. You know these levels, set alerts, they're there for you. These tools are there for you to make your life easier and profitable. It's up to you to make that happen. Alright, what can I say from here? Again, it's either the long will trade. Forgive me for this. The long will trade. If it's a long, it will trade, and you will see buyers there. You will see volume. This is when you bring your other tools in. Let's see volume come in at these support levels. If not, if it's more of the same profit target, then you just be cautious. Again, these levels, 1831s to highs. I believe it's 1970. Okay, that's one option. Keep an eye on this level. I just keep an eye. I mean, it has traded. It did trade today, so let's see what happens. How will we know this level is working? I don't put too much read into it, because if it breaks again, it will break. But let's see if a short breaks, meaning from this high. Let's see where we at. Stop doing this to me. Used to work so well. Okay, from these 2110s, you never had no continuation. Again, very sloppy. If you try to get short, you got stopped. So it's very tough when it works. You just have to be mindful. Just continually draw. You know how many fibs I draw a day? If I'm really active, involved in the market, you're drawing tons of fibs. You're looking for the one that starts working. And sadly, you never had one that really worked. This one right here was the first one that worked and went to target. But you had to be constantly drawing fibs. From these 2110s to these 83s, 96s traded to target twice. And if you want to redraw that again, just in case, from the first, yeah, traded to target. And then if you went from here to here, yeah, and then another one. Let's see if I'm just being sloppy because it looked like it broke. 2110 25s, we're just about there to these lows. Yeah, that traded perfectly. Look at that. 2097 75s, 2097 75, not 2098, to the tick. To the tick. This is what I mean when it's when it works, it works. 2097 75s to target. Alright, so just be mindful. If this is the same, if it's gonna keep working, I'll even take a short. If it's a setup that's worth taking, I'll take it. From these 2110s to lows. Alright, so this is how you measure commitment on the longs and the shorts. We should get back to 86s. If 86s trade, we don't trade above 92s, then next target is 2050. And it's pretty much, in the grand scale of things, that's that breaking. And that would get you back to, see, 2050s. No, the halfway back is 1970s. But pretty much you see how you start making your way down. And this is how you just measure it. Alright, just day at a time, setup at a time. Alright, let's trade them safe. You got three options pretty much. It's this extension, high to high. Alright, that gives you an aggressive entry, but it has traded already. Alright, the one that did break was measured from the 2034s to highs. That did break. The halfway back is at 1970. And this is possibly, very possibly, a short. And it's the same 7-year profit target. Just remind you this drawing, it can come back into play. Let's get rid of this one. I know this was something very old. This was very old. Again. We're right back there. M for murder. I just want to show you one thing. Again, I don't trade it. This doesn't make any impact on my decision making, but something I keep in the back of my mind. This is margin depth. You can get this at your NYX data website. In April, that was you had a nice high print, and since then, since April of this year, sell in May and go away, you had nothing but contractions. And pretty much 4 back-to-back contractions. So when we had seen this before, a lot of nasty things has happened, and I don't want to make those kind of comparisons, but it's just something I do watch. Alright, margin depth, when that starts contracting, it's usually not a good thing for the equity markets. Let's see if I can reload this. It's something I usually watch. This is the nice summation, excuse me, the New York Stock Exchange summation index, and it's combined with a full stochastics. You can even put whatever kind of blend you want, the slow, whatever, but just use the weekly parameters with a 533, and it usually gives very good signals. Very good. as far as turns, and these are like more of as a swing basis. Just as something to keep in mind of nice turns in the market. They usually do lead as far as they're early, so just be mindful of that. Good signals. I watch it, but I keep them in the back of my mind. All right. Nasdaq summation index flattening out, so just be mindful. This market can change its tone and change its tone very rapidly. Guys, have remained a good week, and I'll catch up to you when I guess things change. Until then,